Hi, this is your friendly neighborhood indie rapper back again, and I'm still talking about the Super Football halftime show. It took them months. Clearly, it took them months to plan this thing out. So, one might say the best analysis should probably take a day or two, right? Because I've thought a lot about whether or not I should even do a deep dive analysis, considering that the Super Football Bowl was days ago, and YouTube they do not like days old current events things. So if you like this and you're interested in this type of content, please do leave a like to let the YouTube robots know that it's okay if current events things are a day or two old, because sometimes we need to think about stuff. Sometimes you gotta let stuff cook. Now, mind you, like I said, I am an independent rapper. Okay, I listen to Homeboy Sandman and Clipping and Aesop Rock, right? So all of this stuff is way above my pay grade because my pay grade is very, very low. But I feel like this is an important moment, even for us cave dwelling rappers, because I feel like this might be the biggest moment for lyrical rap ever. And I don't even think that's hyperbole. I was trying to think of what other moments, like in the past, if we lived in a different world, what kind of moments could have possibly been as big as this for lyrical rap. If we had went back in time and Nas had won all the Source Awards instead of Biggie Smalls, and we had lived in that timeline, then maybe that moment could have been as big as this. Like if Inspector Deck had got a Presidential Medal of Freedom from Bill Clinton for his verse on Triumph, then that would have been as big of a moment as this. Or if Breezely Bruin from the Juggernauts had won a Nobel Peace Prize for his song Clear Blue Skies, then it would have been as big as this. And I know you don't know who that is, but that is why I advocate for you to touch rap grass. There was a moment in our history, in our timeline, where Eminem won an Oscar for Mom's Spaghetti. And that was a huge moment. But I am thinking this is a singularly large moment for black lyrical rappers. Okay, I don't think that there has been a moment for black lyrical rappers that has been as important as this, as highly displayed, as celebrated as this one. Now, like I said, I had to chew on this performance for a bit, so it took me a little bit to understand it. Okay, and I hesitated, not only just for how long it's been, but I hesitated because sometimes some of the Kendrick Lamar Easter egg hunting that I see on the internet sometimes makes my eyes cross. Like you see people saying shit like, did you see he was wearing bell bottoms? Clearly he was in support of Philadelphia and the Eagles. Bell bottoms, Liberty Bell, open your eyes, brother. His jacket said Gloria, a clear reference to feminist icon Gloria Steinem. Did you see that? Wake up, brother. Did you see the stage? X, square, circle, triangle, but the triangle was upside down, which is a call for help because the game is broken. Wake up, my brother. Did you see that, my brother? Or are you not like us? Except that in this instance, that last one was kind of on point, right? There was an X, a square, a circle, and a triangle on the playing field, and all of the stages in the field were set up like that. So clearly, this is a reference to a PlayStation controller. So there's a game afoot, and not just the controller. There's the phrase game over at the end of the performance. There's a moment where Uncle Sam Jackson asks Kendrick, is this how you're going to play the game? There's also a point, or a couple of points, where Kendrick said there's a move he wants to do. And there's another point where Kendrick says somebody's trying to rig the game. So what is the game? To me, I think all of this speaks to the question of what is an artsy ass, rapping ass, artsy ass artist like Kendrick Lamar, how's he gonna play? How's he gonna navigate the game of the music industry? And specifically, this halftime show. To me, all of this was very self-referential. The Super Football halftime show in particular is usually a showcase for artists who have played and won the music industry game. Usually you get stuff like Katy Perry in the top hat doing the hokey pokey, or Red Hot Chili Peppers with no shirts on but very shiny pants spraying water guns at each other, or like Lady Gaga doing a very elaborate choreography featuring herself doing a live birth, and then after she's done with the live birth, the fetus gets up and joins in the choreography. That's what we usually see, right? a lot of what you don't see is like Frank Zappa or Bjork, even though I think her time is coming, or like a D'Angelo, or people that we genuinely or generally consider artists. Now, we have had artists. We've had Prince, we've had Beyonce, but I think in both of their cases, they both have had a parade of chart-topping hits, so there was less of a question on if they were going to be able to entertain the masses on this highest of stages. So I think there's a different question for Kendrick, who was a Lupe Fiasco-esque rapping ass Eminem words, syllables per bar, rapping ass lyrical rapper. How's he gonna play the game of entertaining the masses on this level? And I think the brilliant thing that the team did, the team being PG Lang, because it is important to note that PG Lang, which is Kendrick and Dave Free's production company, completely built this show from the ground up. The entire narrative of it, they completely conceptualized and executed on their own. They only had to collaborate and to coordinate with the NFL Super Football Bowl television production team, but the entire show was built by them. I think the most brilliant thing they did with this was put that question in the answer. This was an incredible example of meta commentary. Here you go again, explaining some shit. Did I click on this video to have some shit explained to me like I'm a child? No, it's not like that. I'm just trying to. That's why you rap dudes shouldn't do commentary. Why don't you go somewhere and write some raps? What does that have to do with anything? What does the Super Bowl have to do with you and your little beanie and your little trail mix? Huh? Damn, dog. And scene. So that's meta commentary. It's a thing showing self-awareness by putting the narrative about the thing in the thing. An important reminder here, all of this, everything that I'm about to say is my opinion. It's my interpretation. Am I saying that this is the only interpretation? No. So if you are in the comments and your fingers are already on your keyboard preparing to say that there's all these other interpretations, you don't have to do that because I already know. In my opinion, PG Lang wrote the Uncle Sam character to be representative of America's expectations of an entertainer, especially an entertainer having that position at the Super Football Bowl halftime show. He's making statements and asking questions from the perspective of the establishment. Kendrick's songs and performance choices are designed to be the answers to those questions. And usually, when people do meta commentary, it's an outward expression of things that they might have been struggling themselves in figuring out how to make something creative. You can see Kendrick and his team trying to do this delicate internal math of balancing out the messaging and the depth that they're normally inclined to do with what might be expected of them in that position, with the expectations of mass appeal and entertainment. And the performance ends with Kendrick saying game over, in my opinion, because this is Kendrick saying he's beat the game. And he beat the game using his special move. And his special move was the most successful, scathing, scandalous, dance floor ready diss song we've ever heard in hip hop history. And I think you can sort of follow all of this in how the performance unfolded. It starts off with Kendrick sort of doing what he wants to do. He's on top of his GNX. He's not making a lot of eye contact. He's being a little bit reserved, more reserved than you would expect from somebody doing a halftime show. So he starts off with the new joint. Then he goes into Squabble Up, which is the most recent single off of GNX. I don't know. Is TV off a single? I don't know. I don't know these things. Again, above my pay grade. But Uncle Sam replies. Uncle Sam Jackson replies with too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. And he asks Kendrick if this is how he's going to play the game. And if so, he needs to tighten up. He starts humble, but then you'll notice there's all this patriotic imagery out of nowhere. I feel like this section of the show is meant to please Uncle Sam. It's meant to please America's expectations of somebody in the Super Football Bowl halftime performer position, right? So he's got the big spectacle with the people in the American flag layout, and he's doing bigger hits, more energetic songs off of Damn. He's doing Humble, he's doing DNA. Now this Uncle Sam is down with. But then at the end of DNA, if you look in the crowd, it says Wrong Way. And that Wrong Way, he starts to play Euphoria. He starts to get back into what he wants to do. He plays Man at the Garden, which is a very introspective song off of GNX. And suddenly he's got the bunch of homies under the street lamp, which Uncle Sam Jack calls the culture cheat code. And he says, deduct one life. The way I took that is that he's deducting one life for Kendrick turning away from entertainment and turning into his own introspection, which is not what somebody who's doing the Super Football Bowl halftime show should be doing. So then he starts peekaboo. He starts teasing his special move. And this special move is the song Not Like Us, to which Uncle Sam responds, you done lost your damn mind at the mere tease of doing Not Like Us. Then they slow it down. And he goes into Luther and the songs with SZA. Now, technically, this needs to happen because Kendrick has done all of this performing and light choreography and moving all throughout the field from the square to the triangle to the X, right? He's traversed the field. He's got hella offensive yards at this point. And this is a great time for him to breathe. It doesn't seem like for the song Luther that Kendrick and SZA have live mics. So they're able to lip sync these parts and catch a little bit of their breath. And then they go into All the Stars, to which Uncle Sam is really pleased. Remember, now this is back when they're on the circle and they've got the people marching in the circle. We're back to the big spectacle. We're back to entertaining the masses with these sights and sounds. And now that he's doing what Uncle Sam likes and Uncle Sam is ready to heap praises on him, that's when we get the sound cue for Not Like Us. And I do think if you go back and watch it, the sound cue hits a little bit early. I think the sound cue is supposed to hit where Uncle Sam Jackson says us. The face he makes, it sounds like he's not supposed to be hearing the beat yet. And he continues with his line read as he's supposed to be reading it. But I think the sound cue might have come in a beat too early. So then we get Not Like Us, which is the special movie he's been teasing the whole time. And after Not Like Us, the game is over, so you can turn the TV off. So to me, this entire story, this entire narrative is about Kendrick versus people's expectations. I think he won that game. He did the songs he wanted to do. He promoted his tour. He had enough Easter eggs to keep the truffle pigs busy, right? Now, I do think they had something to do with the protester. I think that's a very secure environment. So the idea that somebody who was dressed like the dancers and wasn't a dancer got in there with the flag and nobody knew about it, I think that's kind of hard to believe. So I think they had something to do with that. But, you know, shout out to plausible deniability. And mind you, there's still some things about this I don't quite get. I think the overhead shot where all of the dancers are laid out is supposed to be some sort of shape, maybe. Like the ones in white look like they're supposed to be in some particular pattern. I don't know what the hell that is, and I don't know what it means. At one point, Kendrick says 40 acres and a mule, referencing the 40 acres and a mule that all of the Africans were supposed to get when they were brought here to America. That, of course, they never got because that was just a pretense for slavery. It could also be referencing Spike Lee's production company. I do think that a lot of the visuals for this particular performance were very informed by black cinema. I think of Jordan Peele. I think of Spike Lee. Considering this was the intro to Not Like Us, I'm not exactly sure what 40 Acres and a Mule has to do with it. Just like him saying there's a cultural divide. I'm not sure what that has to do with Not Like Us exactly. Do feel free to let me know in the comments what you think it is, but just don't get mad, okay? We're just talking here, okay? We're just talking. It's okay. I'm not saying I know everything, all right? So let's just have a discourse. Let's have a conversation. Don't call me names, okay? I'm getting fucking sick of y'all. But this is my interpretation of the show. For me, it was a very Kendrick narrative here. So maybe not the cultural shock, the cultural revelations that some people were expecting. Personally, I think it could have used some elephants and some piñatas and some Hennessy, but that's just me. I'm sick in the head. What can I say? But there is another interpretation possible. So it's either everything I just laid out, or it's a Rod Serling inspired Jordan Peele sunken place, Ari Aster ass lady crawling sideways on the wall, live reenactment of Drake's worst nightmare. It's definitely one of those two. Like and subscribe, homie, friend. It's free. Stop playing.